most tumultuous productions of any movie I can ever recall is this Michael Jackson biopic. For those of you who are a little bit behind on what happened, this is crazy what happened. So Lionsgate and Antoine Fuqua get the rights from the Michael Jackson estate with all the guidelines to make this Michael Jackson biopic. So Antoine Fuqua, great director, goes on and makes his movie. And everybody loves it. At the studio, everybody thinks this is amazing. This is going to win awards. This is going to be $1 billion film, blah, blah, blah. But oh, wait. The Michael Jackson estate did an oopsie. They forgot that in a settlement, a legal settlement they made with a family many years earlier to that, it was specified in their settlement with the Michael Jackson estate that any future dramatization of Michael Jackson cannot include our family, cannot include the kid, cannot include the parents. Nothing involving the kid and parents can be a part of any dramatization you make about Michael Jackson in the future. Okay, deal was made. And they forgot to tell Lionsgate. Michael Jackson's estate forgot. It's like, oh, did we forget to tell you that this 45 minutes of footage you have in the movie, you can't have it after they already shot it. So Antoine Fuqua and the folks at Lionsgate had to go back to the drawing boards. Like, we literally got to take like 45 minutes to an hour of footage of our movie and just throw it away. What the hell do we do? Now, to get us caught up in the context here, fast forward now, and they doing the reshoots, they're getting everything together, and the plan becomes that they're going to do Michael Jackson's biopic as 2 separate movies. That they're going to, because the movie was coming in at close to 4 hours, and hey, why not make $2 billion instead of $1 billion? So they're going to split it in 2. But now apparently the damage done by the oopsie has been so extensive, they've now kind of changed their plans. The folks over at Puck, Matt Bellani, who you guys probably saw in the studio, Matt Bellani in the Puck, he shared this. The MJ movie is ready for its close-up. At this point, the highest stakes film of next year may be Michael, the Michael Jackson biopic, that due to the rights issues with a former child molestation accuser had to be totally reconceived by director Antoine Fuqua after they shot the film, and writer John Logan. Additional photography has now wrapped, and the film ends after Jackson's triumphant rise to fame in the 1980s, so probably around Thriller. So all the footage of Michael Jackson's later King of Pop and scandal-plagued years, including 2 weeks of shooting at Neverland Ranch, now owned by Ron Burkle, is unusable. Producer Graham King's plan is to make a second Michael movie that would include all that stuff, plus a significant amount of additional yet-to-be-shot footage with stars Jafar Jackson, who's Michael Jackson's nephew, Coleman Domingo, and Miles Teller. But that will now depend on, yes, you guessed it, how the first film, is received by audiences next April. If it's a hit, or if all signs are pointing in that direction, they'll greenlight part 2, and if not, producers eat all that unused footage. Remember, the Jackson estate is paying for costs associated with the production debacle, as well they should. Lionsgate and Universal, which has international rights to the film, will attach the Michael trailer to Wicked for Good in November. So that's where now we got to get our first look at Michael back at CinemaCon 2 years ago. And it looked great. So basically, here's where they're at. So they've made the first movie now. It's going to end in the era of the 80s, probably around Thriller, when he becomes a global sensation. All right. Now, they still have all this footage that they can use. They still have all this footage that they can use that was just going to be made a second film. But now, because of all the damage, they decided, okay, let's make sure that the first film does the way we think it's going to do. Then we will take all that unused footage, do some additional photography, and then make that the sequel. kind of a slight deviation from the plan of just chopping the film in half and releasing it as 2, which was what was reported earlier. So a little bit of a change of direction. You know, Rob, Jonathan and I were talking about this earlier today. This makes sense. I think this sounds like a sound, reasonable approach. Like, you could just go for it. You could. And I think there would be nothing wrong with them doing that. But to say, look, this has been so botched. Rob, imagine you're with Francis Ford Coppola as he's shooting The Godfather. And then you're on the final day of shoots and you wrap. Great. But then somebody comes to you, somebody from the studio says, oh, hey, we just found out we can't have the Sonny character in the movie. You can't just edit out Sonny because other things refer to it.
He's interwoven.
He's interwoven into the story even when he's not on screen. Now you got to like scrap half your movie, go back to the drawing board, reimagine it, try to get that thing out. So for them to say, you know what? Okay, we're going to take a breath. We're going to take a beat. We've got the first film now packaged, ready to go. We got all this other footage ready to go too, but we're just going to make sure the first movie works out the way we expect it to be. Then we'll go ahead and complete the second film. I think it sounds reasonable, but yet again, another chapter in what truly is one of the weirdest sounding debacles in film production I've ever heard. And it's not the fault of the studio or the filmmaker in this case.
No.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Zapier. You know, one of the biggest game changers of the past year has been AI. But let's be real, just talking about AI doesn't actually make your day any more productive. What does make it more productive is finding tools to put AI to work for you. And that's where Zapier comes in. Zapier is the easiest way to take AI and plug it directly into the apps and processes that you're already using every day. No IT bottlenecks, no complexity, just results. For me, it's been about saving time on repetitive stuff so I can focus on the work that matters and I actually enjoy. And it's not just me. Over 3.4 million companies are already using Zapier to streamline everything from sales and marketing to IT and HR. With their AI orchestration platform, you can connect top AI models like ChatGPT or Claude right into the apps you already use. So whether it's automatically enriching leads, coaching your sales team, or even resolving IT tickets, Zapier makes it simple. Guys, join the 3.4 million companies already automating with Zapier and transform how you work with Zapier and AI. Get started for free by visiting zapier.com/Campea. That's zapier.com/Campea. Anyway, Rob, you're reading this report coming from Apollonie. What do you make of it?
Well, first of all, I think they're lucky in the sense that the Michael Jackson story, the 70s and the whole Jackson family and the Jackson Five.
It's so rich by itself.
Rich by itself. You take it all the way up to the triumph of releasing Thriller, if that's what they're going to end.
Because you're also covering off the wall. I mean,
yeah, you're
huge.
Covering off the wall, like all that stuff. Billie Jean, that whole, all that stuff is really, really interesting. And then you ended on a triumphant note. And this is uncanny, by the way, this casting, his nephew. It's just insane.
By the way, when you see him on screen,
oh, dude,
as his uncle, I remember having to do a double take. It's like, okay, so that's just old footage of Michael. That's not footage of Michael. That's actually his nephew. It's crazy how much he looks and sounds like his uncle.
And the Scandal years is a different kind of a movie. So I think, look, it's unfortunate that they weren't to have to do all this work and have it scrapped. I totally understand that. What's really interesting is our friend Cliff Stevenson was the on-set documentarian of this movie.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to let him talk about. They probably aren't going to delve into this, but he was there.
Do you know how hard it is for me? So we've got this friend, Cliff, who we've had is in my documentary movie Tales of Love Story. And we've had on the show before.
He's been on movie. What was the show we did before the movie? We watched the movie and then we'd review it. He was on those episodes.
Yeah, he's been on the show.
Oh yeah. We've had him on a few times. He's great. But do you know how hard it is for me? And I do. I am so good about this. When I know he's like, I've been on the phone with him. It's like, hey, you want to grab dinner next week or something? He goes, oh, I can't. I'm in Brazil on set of this upcoming movie, right? Do you know how hard it is for me? And I'm sure you feel the same way, to not ask him about that movie. And I don't. I'm very good that way. Like when I know he's on set of this or that, I never ask him about the movie. I let him keep.
But that's why we're all still friends.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I mean, people are always asking me, why don't you know so many people, why don't you call them up? And I'm like, well, the reason I'm still friends with them is because I don't call them up and bother them and ask them for things all the time. But yeah, I mean, it's true. And you know, they can't talk about it anyway. So you put them in an awkward position. Although I do want to give a shout out to Cliff's lovely wife, Lisa, who's letting me write articles for Lionsgate Limited's physical media site. And they are killing it, putting out direct to consumer, because there's no one's buying discs in stores anymore. They started this great division, and Lisa Stevenson lets me write articles. My latest one went up last week on Jacob's Ladder. They're releasing it on 4K. So you go, Lisa Stevenson.
But back to Michael now.
Back to Michael. Well, yeah, I mean, they're putting it out, and I just think that it's a good way to go. It's too bad that, I mean, I don't know what you do. What an unfortunate experience.
Oh,
but you know what? I'm really looking forward to this movie. I think Anton Fuqua, he's a fantastic director. The man's never let me down. I mean, we're talking Training Day, Anton Fuqua.
Oh, dude, I love, you know, I was very lucky enough. I've told the story before, but he came into studio once to sit down with me for like a good half hour. And I could not have been more impressed with him. Not just that he's such a visionary storyteller, but even when we talked off camera, his appreciation for film history.
Oh yeah.
Like we were just like, he was just referencing these films like, oh, like when you take influences from like blah, blah, blah. It's like, he's such a student of film history too. And I was just really impressed with the dude. Became a really big fan of his that day.
I'm a huge fan of his, but you know, I just wanted to make sure I got this one right. Do you know what he directed? He is not beyond just going back and he directed Olympus Has Fallen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, he can go do Training Day and win Denzel an Oscar.
He did that little Magnificent Seven remake too, which I thought he did a really good job.
He did a really good
So
job.
which one was better, White House Down or Olympus Has Fallen?
Oh, Olympus Has Fallen was better. I mean, look.
Yeah.
No shade on Roland Emmerich, but Olympus Has Fallen's a banger.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is a banger.
White House Down isn't even good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it's good elements.
I mean, you know what Olympus Has Fallen was? Olympus Has Fallen was like, if canon films still existed today, they would have made Olympus Has Fallen. I love those movies. I don't care what anyone says. Gerald Butler he's a goat. Can't wait to see Greenland 2. Can't come soon enough.
By the way, I'll go on a record right now. I believe Michael is going to be the highest grossing musical biopic of all time.
Ooh, more than Bohemian Rhapsody.
More than Bohemian Rhapsody.
That means it's got to close in on $1 billion.
It'll hit the billion. I believe the Michael Jackson film will hit the $1 billion mark.
Do I think that's an overreaction? No. No, I don't. I think you might be correct about that, John, because, you know, Michael Jackson's popularity has never really waned.
No. I mean, he's still, like, look, anyway, I could go off in a direction on that, but we got to wrap this up. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? So they've got a wrap now on the first film. Their plan now is to wait to see how it performs. I think we all know how it's going to perform. And then they'll take all that extra footage they've got, do some extra shooting, and create the second film. Good move, bad move, whatever you guys think about this, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.